Lay back, relax, enjoy it all. Saturday night, it's time to say no more. S&M with Tally and KRC. Come pleasure or pain, welcome to the stream.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to S&M. I'm Eve. This is Tally.
Hi, I have lipsticks. Lots of them.
Yes, she does.
But like my zip bag for all my lipsticks is bursting.
I'm actually gonna turn my mics down a little bit so that way we're more in balance. I noticed that the other day when I was listening back to one of our streams is that you're so much, even though I have you turned up higher than anyone else I ever have in Discord with me, your volume was fine when you talked. Like you were at a normal level. I'm sitting here shouting, so.
I think the issue with my sound is
It's not.
it's
an OBS. It's an OBS thing. It's not you. No, I say that because it's because of the way I've got the settings. I'm used to.
Oh well. Either way, I did an oopsie, so if I accidentally turn myself down, I can't turn myself up because when I was putting the unit together, I used Gorilla Glue for some of it.
Oh no!
And I accidentally got Gorilla Glue in my thing, so this volume button here to turn up the mic doesn't work anymore. Oops.
Tally.
And this is why you don't wear a headset while doing stuff with Gorilla Glue. I have now learned my lesson.
Also, that button in the middle, does that work for you?
Yeah.
7.1 surround sound, yeah.
Mhm.
Because I just noticed you had it turned off, and I was like, oh, I always have it turned on because it makes sound so much fuller when I have my headset on.
Yeah, I didn't know what it did.
Deco says R.I.P. DMX and Prince Philip. Oof. Yeah, no, that happened today. We found out that Prince Philip passed away. I don't know.
You know what? You'd think I would have been the first person out of all of us to know about this shit. Oh no. Oh no. One of my American friends sent me a message and saying, "Is it true that the Queen's husband died?" And I was there like, "Wait, he what?"
Yeah, no, that's it's a very sad thing going on in the UK right now.
You know what? Oh, he didn't give a shit. He said whatever the fuck he liked.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Oh yeah.
when you're married to the Queen, I mean, who's gonna fucking stop you?
Well, a lot of people back when they actually married, a lot of people didn't want him to be part of the family. Because despite the fact that technically before marrying the Queen, he was royalty, he was a crown prince anyway. He was part of another branch of the royal family, so they were far enough removed that it doesn't matter. But he was still royalty on some level. But because his father was a Nazi, people thought he was a Nazi, and they called him a Hans. And a lot of people didn't want the Queen to marry him, and she was like, "No, I like him. He's the one I want to marry." And it worked.
Oh. So
I
even
mean,
she
they
can't
had
bitch at
their
her
marriage
kids. Even she can't bitch at her kids for like picking the person that they wanted to be with. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Or her grandkids. Like,
no.
still they picked commoners, which is still like people are like, okay, but
Well, technically, although Kate Middleton was technically she was a commoner. She didn't have a noble title, so by definition, she is a commoner.
But she also went in there and was like, "Hey, I'm finna do this shit right. We're finna, I'm finna keep my nose clean. I'm finna try to be the best, Duchess I can be." And nobody really made a big deal about her. And then along comes Meghan Markle.
Followed the rules because the royal family have very set rules. Because I don't care what anyone says, the royal family is an institution. And the members of that institution have to follow very strict guidelines. And you shouldn't be willing to marry into that family unless you are willing to follow those guidelines.
Yup.
Now, Kate Middleton, she was more than happy to follow those guidelines if it meant she could be with the man she loved. Whereas Meghan Markle, she was just like, fuck all of you. I've been a princess my entire life and I can do what I like. No, bitch, you can't. Which is why now you're living in California. Because the royal family don't want your ass.
Well, she tried to play this thing of, no one told me how to do the fuck they didn't. I'm sure if you'd have gone and asked, it's like, okay, is there someone who can show me the etiquette of things, you know?
Everyone who joins the royal family, whether they have a noble title or not, they are coached on how they have to act.
Okay, then, like I said,
situations.
even worst case scenario, because they have to have thought of that. You know, that she can't be the first person. First off, she can't be the first. She's definitely not the first commoner who's married. She's not even a commoner, but can't be the first person.
Technically, she is a commoner because a commoner basically means you do not have a noble title.
Well, then she's definitely not the first commoner who's married in, and she's certainly can't. They certainly have to have someone on staff who's just got like, I know all the etiquette and stuff, frontwards and backwards.
She could have asked her sister-in-law.
She could have asked her sister-in-law. She could have asked her fucking husband. Hey, honey, can you just take like an hour today for just, you know, to walk me through some of the things? Because we're gonna, but you know,
even Lady Diane, who was nobility. She was a lady before she married. Even she got coaching, despite the fact that she was nobility.
But when it comes to, you know, like there's even a report I heard of somewhere, like a conversation between the two of them, of him saying like, okay, so when we go in and we meet the queen, we have to bow first and and you know, and she's like, we're just meeting your mom, and he's like, but she's the queen. You have to understand, she's the queen. Tally, what are you doing that's making you robot real bad? Your camera is like lagging super hard.
I was closing stuff.
Oh, okay. You're freeing stuff up. Okay. Yeah, no, it but even then, you know, he was like, no, she's the queen. You don't understand. It doesn't matter that she's my mom. She's the queen. We show the queen respect.
Well, actually, the queen's not his mother. The queen is his grandmother.
Well, yes.
Lady Diane was his mother.
Right. Sorry. It was his grandma. And just like, this is just your grandmother. And he's like, no, she's the queen. We don't fuck around like that. There is etiquette that needs to be observed.
Yeah, there are. You know that women that women within the royal family, they have very, like, even men, but there are very strict guidelines that women in the royal family have to follow. Like, they have to go to a salon to get their hair done properly twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
And if they have their nails painted, they can't have it like I have it with like dark colors. They have to have light, neutral colors, pinks and French manicures and stuff like that. There are certain outfits that they are not allowed to wear. Just because.
Yeah, you can't just wear whatever you want. There's an etiquette. That's the thing that people don't understand about being royalty. Being a princess or whatever is not glamorous. It's not a...
Well, it is glamorous.
It's not glamorous in the way you think. It's not... There's so much prestige that comes with it, but with it comes also a set of rules, a set of guidelines that you have to follow, a set of things that you have to live by. Because if you don't, you're insulting everything the title that you're currently holding, you know.
See, now, and this is why I don't think she married into that family, because she actually loved Harry. I think she married in strictly for the gold digging.
I'm not
because she didn't give a shit about the she didn't give a shit about the etiquette. She didn't give a shit about the family history. She knows nothing of the family history at all. Like, you married this man and had a baby with him, and you don't know anything about the family and their history and their etiquettes? I'm not buying that shit unless you don't care. Because she went from being a diva who could do whatever the fuck she likes and doesn't care how she talks to people, to joining a royal family where she has to follow very strict. You know, the Queen chewed her out for the way she spoke to her staff.
Yeah, because I mean, even that
Because
gets
she's
back
a
to people.
bitch.
Even that gets back to people. Just because you're in the royal family doesn't mean you can just act any kind of way you want. You have to compose yourself as a member of the royal family. Because
Yeah,
you can't have
like-
the staff going and saying, "Well, this bitch just talked to me any kind of way she wanted to." This is how they act up in there.
you cannot treat the staff with no respect whatsoever, because they might work for you. True. However,
But
if
you
they
need
go
to be
to,
dignified
like,
and worthy of their respect as well. So
the royal family have a kind of thing with the press where the press will leave them alone, provided they the royal family will give them limited access to their lives. And this goes back to because of the way Diane died.
mhm.
Because some people say she was murdered, but the press I'm not going to get into that. I know nothing about that. Let's go with the story that the press somehow caused an accident and her driver was drunk. Let's go with that. Because the
Tally's
press
totally not indulged in conspiracy theories around that at all.
Well, no,
ever.
but the driver was drunk. The driver was drunk.
It was before my time. Honestly, I don't know what happened.
The official story is the press distracted the driver who was driving her car, who was drunk.
Mm-hmm. We got a couple of F's in chat for Philip and may he rest in pieces and stuff like that. Yeah. Peace, not pieces. Oh boy, that came off wrong. I apologize. May he rest in peace and things like that. Hang on a sec.
He was
Go ahead.
well up there in his 90s.
Go ahead, Tally. Go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Okay. What was I? Okay. Because of the way Lady Diane died, now the press have a bit of an understanding with the royal family where they back off a bit and they get certain insight things into the royal family.
Mm-hmm.
If a member of staff then they have to treat their staff with some level of respect, because they have to have this trust where the staff isn't just going to go, well, she's a fucking bitch and therefore I'm going to go to the press and spill everything.
Yup.
That is why they are required to treat their staff with respect. But this bitch didn't care.
No. And
she thought because she's now a princess, and I don't mean like a princess in a diva princess, I mean a legitimate princess.
Yeah, no, she's not a princess though. That's the thing, is she's not a princess. But we kind of got off.
Well, she was before she had her title removed. Technically, a duchess is a princess.
Snow says, "Hey Tally, here's a thought. Think Her Britannic Majesty would prefer Wallis Simpson over Meghan?"
Who? Oh, she was the divorcee, the American divorcee who married the king, who was only king for 10 days or something, because technically he didn't get as far as his coronation because he wanted to marry her, and it was a massive scandal for the king to marry someone that still had 2 living husbands.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But do you think she'd prefer that over? I mean, at least that woman kind of would probably have come in, kept her head down, and done what she's supposed to do.
Technically, she did keep her head down, because after he forfeited the crown, and they moved to France. They kind of stayed out of. I mean, they did interviews with the media, but they never said the outrageous things that bitch says. She never treated her staff with contempt the way that bitch does.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to bet, yes, the Queen would choose Wallis Simpson over that bitch.
His Britannic Majesty Edward VIII.
He was only king for 10 days.
Wow.
He didn't even get as far. Well, he was acting king. He didn't even get as far as the coronation.
That is crazy. So just so you guys know, we've said this for the past couple of weeks. That we have a new hashtag SNM News. It is linked down. It's in the description below if you need to know exactly how it's spelled out. SNM News. If you have anything you'd like to share with us, anything you'd like us to talk about, you can add us on Twitter with that, or you can leave it over in the Discord. We also check that before the show starts to see if there's anything that y'all say, hey, I want to hear y'all's opinion on this. We want to bring this up. So if there's anything you guys do want to share with us, that is the way to do it. With that
Before we move on, apparently, Meghan said to Oprah that apparently there was a conversation between members of the royal family about whether or not what color the baby would be.
No.
I don't buy that for a second, for the simple reason, like, technically one of her parents isn't black. Technically one of her parents is mixed race.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one's white. This bitch is whiter than Harry. And they really want me to believe that there was a conversation within the royal family.
Look, she might be a little tan. The baby might be a little tan, Tally. We can't have tan people. You don't understand.
But the mother
you don't understand.
The mother looks Hispanic.
Tally, you don't understand. There are no tan people in the UK. There are no tan people. You're all pale as... Y'all look like me. Which is funny because I look paler than Tally does. It's fucking hilarious. But there's no such thing as any melanin in skin
in my family.
I'm
the whitest bitch in my family.
The whitest bitch in your family.
I know this because we've compared skin color. Like, we've actually held our arms up. I am the whitest bitch in my family.
But no, seriously though, all jokes aside, it is ridiculous how they behaved about this. It's just not. They've put out some blatant stuff like, "Oh, I'm so oppressed and because of my skin color." And
you're so damn oppressed. You're so damn oppressed. You married into royalty.
Who, even without even having given up their move to the States, still have a fuck ton of money.
Oh yeah, they are billionaires. They still get an allowance from the royal family.
Snow says, and didn't Tally's dad marry a damn Rusky?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who, from my understanding, is a sweet woman who puts Tally's laundry from the washer into the dryer without being asked to. So.
You know what? She came. I was sitting in the kitchen the other day, and she walks in. I was just sitting doing stuff on the laptop. She comes in and with the bags from shopping, and she goes, "That's for you," and puts a bottle of rosé wine on the table in front of me. I'm like, "Oh, you spoiled me."
Yes, she does seem like a real sweetheart. I'm gonna have to.
She is.
I'm gonna have to come over there and meet you in person and meet your family at some point. Because Kayla keeps talking about trying to drag me over to Europe and stuff, and we might as well swing through the UK while we're there.
Well, something I will be doing is when I get my place, I plan on getting a sofa that's got quite a comfortable bed that pulls out. So, and it will be a double, so you and Kayla can have a bed. So you can come and stay with me.
Look, there will be no threesomes, Tally. I'm sorry. You're just going to have to get over it.
And depending on when you come, Saz might be here.
Oh, okay. Just yeah.
All right, we had this conversation before we started.
Do you want to put that out there?
I screw it.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, we had this conversation before we started. Okay. Apparently, if a white woman dates a black man, she has jungle fever. What does the black man have?
Jungle fever.
Because Like, I don't think it is jungle fever.
I spent 10 years with a black woman. Five dating and 5 married, and could not come up with a better definition in that time. So,
But technically, he couldn't have, like, a black man who's dating a white woman couldn't have jungle fever because
it
he's
is what
the
it
black
is.
person in the relationship.
I said it's what it is. That's what we used to say. My ex was black, and we used to say that with her too. It was like, okay, so what is it when a black woman dates white people? Because she has a thing for white guys, and she's always been more attracted to white guys than anything else. And it was like, well, what do you call that? And it's like, well, I call that smart. What is smart? What are we naming here, Deco? What is this acronym? Because it looks like an acronym. Anyway, no, I was like, we can never come up with. We asked other people who were of the same persuasion.
Snow Pilot's got a point. We should ask Pat.
We should ask Pat. If Pat show up, he's probably at work or asleep at this point.
He is probably at work at this time.
We're doing this in an odd hour because I won't be here tomorrow. I'm leaving, like I said, after the show. I'm leaving right out, going to Alabama to meet Kayla's family. So, Deco's a certified black man. Well, congratulations. You have your certificates and your papers proving that you're a black man. But yeah, no. I lost my train of thought there. Yeah, so I'm leaving right out after this. No, he's yelling. He's yelling? I don't understand. What are we talking about? I know there's a delay between what we hear and what y'all hear, but damn.
I think they're talking about what it's called. Oh no, apparently Deco is shouting smart.
Oh, he said, wait, you're coming to Alabama? I sure am, sir. Coming down to Bambi. This will be the second time in the past past month or so. Because
Snow Pilot, if her package arrives tomorrow, her housemate will be there to collect it. Don't worry.
Probably. Most likely.
Oh, Mustafa's here. Mustafa! What's it called when a black man is sexually attracted to white women?
When he's yeah. So they call it jungle fever when white folks prefer black people. What do they call it when black people prefer white people, as far as dating goes? But I'm told those terms are racist anyway. So having a preference, apparently, I can't ever say that I had a preference for a particular race. Because, like I said, I was with a black woman for 10 years, but I'm not actually particularly, specifically attracted to black women because of their skin color. It just was a thing that happened. We clicked. We got along. And,
I've really got to
Snow says
tomorrow about this thing on my knuckle.
Mustafa just gives us ellipses, and Snow says, I'm sorry you walked in on this.
We need a black man to tell. We need someone that is black.
Deco said he is. So we got 2 right there. It's called taste, says Izub. Wow. Okay. Moving on before this conversation devolves. So I had a thing that happened earlier this week. A conversation that I had.
Yeah.
Actually, just a couple days ago. There was an article put out by some random gaming site called The Gamer, thegamer.com. I've never even heard of it. But I'm going to share the link with you, Tally.
Yay.
Oh, that's not good. We've dropped more frames. Means my internet might be dipping again. God damn it.
Yeah, Eve's having Wi-Fi issues. She's already had to reset her router. That's why we were late.
If it continues, yeah, no, I'm sitting here fiddling and fucking around with my internet stuff because I had issues streaming last night. You know, Rick and Snow can attest to that. You know, but I looks like I'm having other issues as well, unfortunately. But yeah. There was a conversation that I had earlier this week, and let's see. I do need to send these links to you, Tally.
Okay.
So this first one is a link to this article, and this article I'm going to share with the class.
On Twitter?
Yes, ma'am. This article was saying we spoke with, it's about Cyberpunk. You know, I really enjoyed the Cyberpunk game, but despite all of its issues and things like that, I've any of you who know me heard me gush about it. I really have fucking enjoyed this game. So
I am gonna ask someone what's it's called because this is it's stuck. I'm stuck on it now.
yeah, I'm sure
gonna ask.
you are, darling. Deco just agrees with Izu. I know the derogatory term for it, which is, I'm not gonna repeat it because I don't want to really, you know, get in trouble here. But okay. Oops. Hello. We got a donation. Thank you for the donation, Johnny Hellcat. Being as you're streaming now, I can assume it wasn't you standing at the foot of my bed holding a pillow. That I would assume would make it harder to breathe. Bro, are you okay? Do we need to send help? God damn it, it's doing it again. The latency just dipped. Tally.
Yeah.
You're on your phone. I need your attention. We just got a donation.
Yeah, I was sending a message.
I'm sure you were.
I was asking a black man.
Oh Jesus. Were you DM? I mean, Mustafa answered in chat there.
Technically, he didn't.
But thank you for the donation. He did answer. Thank you for the donation, Johnny Hellcat. I'll read it again because Tally wasn't listening.
Coal burning.
Oh God! I went out of my way not to say it because he said it was a derogatory term.
Oh.
Johnny says, being as you're streaming now, I can assume that it wasn't you standing at the foot of my bed holding that pillow that I would assume would make it harder to breathe, question mark? Yeah, no, it wasn't me. And I think if you do have someone at the foot of your bed holding a pillow, I'd ask your wife first, and if it's not your wife, you should probably be in a little concerned. Just a little. You know, so, for whatever reason, I'm having issues here. Are y'all still getting the broadcast? Everything's still going through? Okay, as I was saying. Zub and Deco need to dial it back to a 7. They're fine. They're fine. What's a rotor? A rota? I don't understand. I don't understand.
A router.
Yeah. Hi, this is Mom. Just wanted to commandeer his phone and say hi. Hi!
Hi!
That must be Hikaru's mom. So, like I was saying, we do have this thing. Okay, so, like I said, y'all know that I like Cyberpunk. So, this came across my dash because it was related to Cyberpunk the other day. And it said, I didn't even actually read the article because I knew which way they were going to go with this just by this tagline. And it says, we spoke to Carla Tessara about her role as Judy Alvarez in Cyberpunk 2077 and what went into building such a strong, queer character. Now, I will preface all of this with, Judy is a fantastic character. Judy is a fantastically well-written character, and I would expect nothing less from CD Projekt Red, the company that made Cyberpunk. They write fantastic stories, fantastic characters, and Judy is no exception. She's just wonderfully designed, and I adore her, you know.
Well, she seems, if people didn't know, if no one knew she was gay until just before recording the romantic scene, then that tells me that she was a good standalone character who just happened to be gay.
I romanced Judy in Cyberpunk. Judy was my choice, and I don't regret a minute of it either. You know, she's just fantastically. But I don't want to give too many spoilers because there are plenty of people out there who still want to play it and haven't played it yet. But most of the Judy storyline, when you're interacting with her, when you're having conversations with her, doesn't revolve around y'all fucking. Doesn't revolve around her being gay. It revolves around the other parts of her life and experiences that she's had. Hi, Happy. And experiences that she's had. Oh God, hang on. Let me finish my thought here.
Okay.
Just like mark it down somewhere. It revolves around other parts of her life and the good that she wants to do, the people that she wants to help, get better lives. And the entire thing of it is you're supporting how much you support her, and what your choices you make decides whether or not you even have a chance with Judy. So it only is brought up a couple of times. If you're paying attention, she'll mention like an ex-girlfriend, or she'll mention that, yeah, me and so-and-so used to have a thing. That's it. That's all. It's never brought up and put in your face of this person is gay. By the way, oh, hey, I'm a lesbian, Happy wants to come say hello. She's being very insistent about this, so I'm going to put her up here in the camera so you can all see her and see how cute and wonderful she is. Hi, baby. You're on the camera. Do you see? You're on the screen. Sorry, guys. She just came over and decided to be very clingy all of a sudden. So like I said, Judy is a very entertaining character, and these motherfuckers, when this came across my dashboard, decided to break her down into a strong queer character. And I took issue with that, because once the Cyberpunk...
She was a strong character is, but the fact that she's queer is just a footnote.
Exactly, and that is exactly the point I make right here. When I retweeted it and said I can tell you exactly what went into making Judy a quote strong queer character, making a good character and not giving a shit about how queer she is, because Judy certainly doesn't spend time sitting there dwelling on how queer she is. None of the characters that I've run across in Cyberpunk really spend a lot of time talking about how queer they are, focusing on how queer they are, or how gay they are, how straight they are. Nobody really gives a fuck, because most people are more worried about being able to walk down.
Gives a fuck in real life.
Yeah, most people are more worried about being able to walk down the street without getting shot. So, and I found
it's almost as if when people have normal real life issues, their sexual preference is irrelevant to who they are as a person.
Yeah, even Mustafa said, even outside the romance, she's like the little sister you never knew you wanted. Why you gotta make it weird for me? Why you gotta make it weird? Because I fucked her brains out, and holy shit, that was a hot sex scene. Not gonna lie. But Judy, yeah, Snow says, Judy is ride or die whether you romance her or not. Exactly. She's a fantastically written character because she's a fantastically written character. Like, no focus was given on who she's dicking down, or being dicked down by, or whatever. No intention was given to that. All they did was go in and insert some code after having written the character to say, oh, she'll only prefer this particular gender. And we have another donation.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna beat you up. Thank you, Kayla, for the donation. I'm not allowed to dono to Eve, but I can dono to Tally. Giggle. So apparently that's yours. So.
Wait, what?
Kayla, being Kayla. Defiant little brat, gonna get her booty spanked when I see her this evening.
Thank you, Kayla.
Yeah, she said, I'm not allowed to dono to Eve, but I can dono to Tally. Giggle. So, yeah. I'm gonna beat her up. Anyway, Mustafa says, this is a world where most people are cyborgs. Who gives a if you're gay? Exactly. Nobody gives a shit what's in your pants unless they're trying to get it. Nobody gives a fuck. You know, and that's the thing is that
See, as far as I'm concerned, what consenting adults do with each other in their own privacy is their business and their business alone. Don't broadcast that shit. No one needs to know that shit.
Mm-hmm. And I could contrast that with Pan Am. I like I said, I played a female character. I say female. I play a trans character, like, because you can choose your genitals. It has literally no effect on anything in the story, other than, oh hey, if you take your pants off in your inventory, you can see your dick or see your vag, or neither. Actually, you can just see underwear if you want to choose to do that.
I do find it amusing that if you take your pants off in your inventory, it flaps around if you choose to go with a dick.
Yeah. The part that annoyed me was that if you take your pants off and then go back out to the game and look down, all you see is underwear. And I'm like, I can't run around with my dick flopping out. That's rude, you know. But that's neither here nor there. But like I said, you know, I chose to make a character that suited me, and people can complain about it all they want to, but you know, my character's got a dick. She's a girl, but she's got a dick, so I don't give a fuck. And
also, just to let everyone know, if a black man is sexually attracted to a white woman, he has suburban flu.
Moving on. Before Tally totally derails anything in this goddamn stream when they're crazy. But no, I never really had a lot to say about this because this really frustrated me. You know, contrast that with like Pan Am, who straight up shuts you down if you're a female presenting character. Like, there was more than twice I made a pass at her, and she just was like, nah. No, the second time I think I chose not to make a pass at her, but the first time it was like we just finished our first job and we're sitting there having a drink, and she's like, you know, we could just get a hotel room here and banned. No, don't ban us. We could just get a hotel room here. It's really cheap, and I
do like how in Cyberpunk, if you choose how you present, like female or male, excuse me. I do like how if you present in a certain way, some characters won't date you.
Yeah, just like real life, people have preferences.
Yeah, like you play Skyrim, like some of the men will only marry you if you are female presenting, but then it doesn't matter whether you're male or female presenting. All of the female characters that you have a close relationship with would marry you.
Mm-hmm.
So none of the females have a preference, but the males only preference female.
Hikaru says y'all way too young to know anything about suburban flu. You ain't old either, so unless that's Hikaru's mom again. In which case she is actually older. Hikaru act like he's just so much older than us, and it's like, bitch, you got 5 years on me. Calm down. But like I was saying, you know, I want to hear the rest of the hotel story. Eve, right? So I'm sitting there. We just finished our first job, and I look at Pan Am, and she's like, we can get a hotel room. I was like, yeah, we could totally get a hotel room. And she's like, yeah, no, so something like that. And she was like, yeah, they have separate beds here. And I was like, I was actually kind of hoping there'd be just one. She says, I know. Then I'm like, shut down. I can respect. And then there's the second opportunity you get after the big rescue of one of the missions you do with her. and you're holed up in this. There's like a bad sandstorm, and you're holed up in this little house, and you're sitting there just joking and laughing with her, and she props her feet up in your lap, and you're just sitting there. You get the opportunity to make another pass at her, and if you had done the, if you're a male presenting character and have done the things right, she'll be receptive to it at that point. But I decided at that point, because it was just like, one, I know she's not interested. Two, I felt like it was like a real life situation where it's like I've had friends who I'm very flirty with. I'll use Weibo as an example. Weibo, I'm very flirty with Weibo, but I also, respect that, one, she has a boyfriend, two, she's not into girls. So it's one of those things.
I believe Weibo would fall under the category of super straight.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the thing. Oh, watch out, Tally. That's a hate fact there. Hey, Shady. Excuse me. But no, to me, it kind of drove me nuts that they make all this about her sexuality, and I'm like, she's just a well-written character who happens to be gay. Just like Panam is also a fantastically written character. I loved Panam immediately. Like, we're just like that, That's another one of my ride or die homies, If I knew that if in real life, if I had a friend like Panam, I could just be like, yo, I'm in trouble, I need some help. That bitch should be there in like an hour tops with her fucking Outback desert racing mobile and be like, what's up, who we killing, who's fucking with my hoe,
Who am I stabbing?
Yeah, who am I stabbing? Who am I shooting? Who's fucking with my homie? And so it says Snooze just be ticking all the boxes today. Stop it! Don't tease us like that. Like don't do that. Don't do that.
See, now, I just like well-written characters.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether those are well-written characters that I love to hate, or well-written characters that I love because of that, like people that I would really like, yeah, I would be your friend in real life if you were a real person.
Mm-hmm. That's what
well-written characters.
Go ahead.
And that's kind of my issue when it comes to Harry Potter. The gaping plot holes. The villain is stupid. Oh, I've got a hole in my cardigan. The villain is stupid.
Would you say, Tally, it's a gaping plot hole in your cardigan?
I mean, like, let's go to the fourth movie, the Triwizard Cup. Is that the fourth movie? I think it is the fourth movie.
Yeah, the Goblet of Fire, yeah.
Yeah, the entirety of Lord Voldemort's plan relies on Harry being the one to make it through the maze and touching the cup that happens to be a portkey to get him to the graveyard. His entire plan hinges on Harry being the one to win the maze.
I should point out this wasn't actually Harry's plan. It was actually one of his flunkies' plans.
But it was a stupid plan.
But, yeah.
Harry and Hermione were both raised in the Muggle world, so they know about Muggle weaponry. And never once did they think, let's plant a shitload of Claymore mines to stop them Death Eaters.
Yeah. But there's also another point before we get off on something else. There's also another point that I've heard people make of there's no, like, identifiable trans characters in Cyberpunk, and I'm calling bullshit, because there's one, and I absolutely adore this character as well, and I wish to God she had been a romance option, but she wasn't. For those who don't know,
someone who transitions, they want to transition from one to the other, so they don't want to have secondary sex characteristics of their birth gender. So therefore, it would make sense that if a trans person transitions well, that they wouldn't have any of these secondary sex characteristics of their Like you look
Snow
like
said,
a woman.
Snow did say spoiler alert. It's only a minor spoiler because it's kind of obvious when you get actually to talk to this person. So this character is the bartender at the Afterlife, but you later get a phone call from her to do some races, and she has a series of races that you end up doing, car races. She's your gunner, your co-pilot, and you do the driving. But the thing that you find out pretty damn quickly, if you're paying attention when you get into her damn car, is there's this big old trans flag on the back of her truck. Spray painted there. But between that and then a couple of things she slips in the dialogue when she's talking to you, if you decide to ask her questions and learn more about her and stuff, she's fucking trans. You know, she mentions her transition, and then she mentions and that's about it. She mentions it briefly and then moves on. And that's the thing, is that nobody would have, guessed, if not for that, that she is. Claire is just a well-written, beautiful person, and I really just adored the character again, But the idea that she's not, running around with a trans flag tattooed on her forehead, or having her dick hanging out, or some shit like that, because she must not be trans. She did her thing. She moved on with her life, This bitch likes cars. This bitch likes serving drinks at the Afterlife, She's just a genuinely interesting person. The moment that you, in the game, I'm going to spoil a little more too, when you walk into the Afterlife the first time with your best friend Jackie, and you sit down at the bar, I immediately liked her, because she was just so cordial and sit there and had conversated with you, and she was just such a likable personality. And then later on, when she drags you into this series of quests and has her own storyline that unfolds, which I won't spoil for you, but it actually, plays out that you learn more about her and her history. It is so much more interesting to find out who she is rather than what's in her pants. And that, to me, is the key to writing good characters that are, quote, queer, which I don't care for that term, but to writing good queer characters, LGBT plus characters, is to just write a good fucking character to begin with,
Yeah, you just make a good character, and then you just go, oh, by the way, footnote, this character's gay.
Yeah.
Like, a well-written character, it doesn't matter what their sexuality is.
And that to me is how you get acceptance for LGBT people. You stop making a big fucking deal about it. Do you know how many people actually in my life give a shit that I'm trans? I can count them on one hand.
I know you had some issues with a few of your closer family member when you first
right,
came
and they would automatically, have trouble adjusting. But even them they've actually made efforts. Even my younger, not my youngest, but my next to youngest brother, who has Asperger's. He has a lot of trouble adjusting to changes like that, and to changes in general. But
well, the issue there is he has known you his entire life as his older brother.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly you're now his older sister.
Mm-hmm.
So I can, and for your mother, that could be just as hard as well, because she gave birth to a little baby boy, and now she's got a daughter.
Right, and that I can see them having trouble adjusting, but even they've made efforts to do so, because I didn't come off like an asshole to them about it. I just said, this is what I want to do. This is the changes that I'm going through in my life, and I'm asking y'all to respect this. And they're like, okay, this is going to be...
When it comes to you, it's
not easy for them to do, but they're still, making an effort to do so. Anyone besides me and Pepperidge Farm remember when calling someone queer was stupid, homophobic? Yeah, I remember. Used to be, and now they've reclaimed it, and I'm like, okay, sure.
Do you remember when the term...
It's not totally like we can decide what words mean, and how we take words now, you know what I mean?
You know what? You go back into the 50s,
decide whether words hurt our feelings or not. Maybe.
Coloured was racist, and then it said just call them black, because that, yeah. And now it's like, oh no, it's people of colour. It's like, that's basically the same as coloured people. You've just reversed it. So suddenly it's not racist anymore.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's
people don't make up your damn mind.
No, it's not. No. You're misunderstanding the point, Tally. Is that they understand full good and well that words
It's
mean what
shifting goalposts.
Let me finish.
Sorry.
They understand good and well that words mean what they want it to mean, but they only take words only have the meaning you take from them. You can be offended. People can be offended by the word tranny. I can say the word tranny and be called transphobic for doing so, but I don't find that word offensive. I
used to work with a lesbian who didn't find the word dyke offensive.
Right.
But some lesbians do.
Right. And that's the thing is
I think this is the difference between people who have thick skin and don't put a lot of stock in mean things people say, and people who are so weak they just crumble at the utterance of mean words. I'm sorry. Did I interrupt you?
Mm-hmm.
You were saying?
I'll try to give you more spaces to interject, but because I'm just kind of going on a rant here. Snow says, Tally, it is the same thing. It's called people forward language. It's like calling someone diabetic versus person with diabetes. Yeah. And it is the exact same thing. It's just rearranging the words a little bit to say something. And that's to me is the problem, is that they can take a word and decide that this word doesn't offend us anymore. Instead, this is an empowering word. And I'm like, okay.
But it's only empowering if we say it.
Right. And that to me doesn't speak to, this word offends me. This speaks to, I'm decided this word doesn't offend me anymore, so therefore...
However, I have to interject, though, because if you say... this word doesn't offend me, but then you get offended because, like, let's say the N-word, and if a white person says it, suddenly you're offended, then you are still putting power in that word, and you are not claiming it as no longer offensive.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are still finding it offensive just because a white person says it.
It's not even about just being a white person says that, because that is how they're controlling the language, and... that is because they're choosing to allow it to. But like I said, getting back towards the original topic a little more, I find Claire to be a compelling trans character that's in the game, but nobody wants to notice that. I find, but not because she's trans, but because she's just a fucking compelling character,
Well, yeah, because good characters are good characters, no matter what their sexual orientation or gender identity is, as long as they are written well.
Yeah, and there's plenty of characters that are like that in Cyberpunk, but nobody really notices them because they're not like ostentatiously gay. The only person who's really even quote queer presenting, as what I've seen or heard, is a guy named Fingers, and let's just say that I like Fingers so little. Like, I know Fingers is a well-written character to be scum of the earth piece of shit.
But he was written to be a well-written character who's the scum of the earth piece of shit, but you love to hate him because he's a well-written character.
Indeed. He's written in such a way that I've made a ritual of every time I play Cyberpunk, starting the game, loading to save file number 57, where I'm standing right in front of Fingers, pulling out my gun and putting a bullet in his head. Every single stream. Like, that's not an exaggeration. I hate that guy so much. And I gotta hand it to CD Projekt Red. They wrote a character that I just hated so much that I make a ritual of executing him every single time I play that game, because I hate that guy. He is utter trash.
But you don't hate him because he's gay. You hate him because he's a piece of shit.
I'm fucking gay. Why would I hate him? Because he's gay. That's retarded. It just doesn't make any sense to hate him because he's gay. Yeah, Rick says, kill Fingers every time. We don't talk about Fingers. We don't talk about what Fingers did. We just tell you that he deserves a bullet in the head. As does a couple of other characters in the game that we've come across. And that's one of the things I love about Cyberpunk, is just being able to go, oh, this guy pissed me off.
So let me figure this out. Your ritual every time you play Cyberpunk is you load the save where you're standing in front of Fingers, shoot him in the head, and then you load to where you want to continue from.
I'm about a good 100 saves into the game at that point. Past that point, I load back to that point in the game. I've memorized which number. I just scroll down my list, load that save file, and put a bullet in his head. Because that trash, sorry excuse for a human being is that awful. I won't go into what I can't really go into what he did, but
you know what?
and he makes it easy. He makes it so fucking easy every single time I load, because he'll look at me, he's like, he just gets this rude ass response of like, yeah, what do you want, or can I help you, or just gives me this assholeish remark. And every single time I load the game, it's just like, oh yes, you can help me, you can die like the bitch you are, you know. And I know I'm being super aggressive here, but oh, a bullet, you put bullets in him like they're damn Pringles. Well, yes, I do. I unload my gun into him right to the fucking head.
You know what? I was watching a period drama with my stepmother based in Cornwall during... it was based after the American Civil War, and the main character was actually a soldier who fought for England in the American Civil War. But he was quite libertarian, he was against slavery, he was against closing mines so that the poor couldn't work to feed their families and all that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 3 characters in this TV show, and I hated them so much. When one of them died, I actually cheered. I was so happy that he died because of what a piece of shit he was. Then the other one went insane after his wife died, and that was kind of funny. I'm not laughing because he went insane. I'm laughing because he was a piece of shit and he lost his mind.
What did Fingers do anyway?
He had kind of a redemption thing where he saved the main character's life. It was kind of payback for the main character saving his life.
Yeah.
So he had kind of a redemption, and he wasn't such a piece of shit afterwards. But they were well-written characters, and I loved to hate them so much because they were so... I just hated everything about them.
And that's one of the things I love about Cyberpunk, is despite all the glitches and bugs and everything like that, there's so many well-written stories. Even just picking up a side quest sometimes hits you right in the feels. You don't know it's coming half the time.
But there was going to be bugs when it comes to Cyberpunk, because it was such a big
there's
game,
a lot more wrong. I'm gonna stop you there. Having played through it, there's a lot more wrong with Cyberpunk than just a few bugs. There is a metric crap ton of bugs which they're working on fixing, but there's also a lot of things that they promised that didn't end up in the game, and a lot of things that a lot of us were expecting that didn't end up in the game, and it disappointed a lot of people.
But it was released early because they had to keep their shareholders happy.
It was, and that was not the call of the devs, from my understanding. That was the call of the board. The board has personally come out and apologized for that, because they're like, yeah, we fucked up. We pushed it out. We were trying to make, shareholders happy, and we fucked up.
Yeah, the developers kept saying, no, you can't put it out yet. It's not ready.
Yeah.
When they put it out, the developers are like, sorry, it's not finished.
Yeah. And then they did some shady shit trying to pay people off to cover things up. Like, hey, you can't put out a bad review saying this is glitchy and buggy. And it's like, why it is, though? You didn't finish your game. We're going to tell people that you didn't.
But that's not on the devs.
No, it's not. None of that's on the devs.
The developers and the people that made the game, they did everything they could to make this game and try to put it out on time. But it is such a big game, it took them longer than expected. Yeah. So it's not their fault.
It's a very ambitious game. Even with what they gave us was very ambitious and very massive. But Jack did ask, what did Fingers do anyway? So to give a safe work as possible an explanation, there was a woman who, in the game, who was... Hang on. Something just blinked. I need to make sure that we didn't lose connection here. No, we're still streaming. Okay, we're still live. There's a woman in the game who ends up in a position, very vulnerable position, who's someone you're looking for. Fingers was complicit in taking advantage of her. In some very bad ways. Like, really bad ways.
Oh.
And the things that they...
Well, I can imagine how
where-
bad it is if your ritual for every time you load that game is to load the save where you're stood in front of him and emptying your gun into him.
Yeah, I can't stand that guy. He was complicit in some horrendous shit. Did you guys get refreshes as well, too? Because my stream just refreshed. Buffered for a sec. Oh, fuck. I'm showing excellent connection, but we're still live. OBS is fine. What the fuck is going on?
It can't be me because my
It's not you,
Wi-Fi
honey.
box, you can actually see it. See that little shadow there?
I'm
on the top
aware,
of the line,
Tally. It's
right
not
there?
you.
That's my hub.
I'm aware it's not you, honey. I'm the one hosting the stream, therefore, yeah, scabs get murked. Yeah, Snow's explained it to you. Scabs get murked on site for the same reason. I go out of my way to execute scabs whenever I see them. The gang, the scavengers, yeah.
Mm.
To give you an example, to tell you what they do and what kind of thing they'll do anything that it takes advantage of and abuses
Are they
people.
the people that kidnapped that woman who was on what was it, the platinum level insurance?
Yes. At the very the first mission of the game is their scabs. Yeah, stream died for a few seconds. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to have a long-ass conversation with my internet provider when I get back from this trip this weekend. Because my internet should not be doing this.
Based on that first mission, because that was one of the few streams I actually watched you play. Based on that one, yeah, I'm not surprised you go out of your way to kill them. They are scum.
Mm-hmm. They take people and harvest their body parts.
They're savages.
They harvest
savages.
cybernetics and body parts from people.
They're not, but they're not just scavengers. They are savages.
Yeah, they're murderers. They're murderers. They're rapists. They're the worst of them. They're the scum. Yeah, it really was really weird. I don't know what happened.
They're the scum nobody else wanted in their gang.
Mm-hmm.
Because even gang members, even gangs, have some level of decorum.
Depends on the gang. The one that I would rate the highest is probably the Mox. Because even though they're a gang and they have their own ambitions and stuff like that, they make a point of looking out for the prostitutes and strippers, the sex workers. They go out of their way to back them up and support them a lot of times. Nobody fucks you don't fuck with sex workers in Night City because the Mox will come and fuck you up. It's an all-girl gang. It's kind of funny. And you think, oh, you got some prissy bitches. No, these bitches are like ripped and have cybernetics out the ass and are just going to come in with spiked baseball bats and just murder you.
Well, I'm guessing they will do that because at one point a lot of them were sex workers. If you actually look into their backstories.
Yeah. Judy, the character that we were just talking about earlier, Judy is part of the Mox. The Mox are more of almost a cartel kind of. Yeah. Like I said, they're gang members, but I don't think I've had an issue with a single member of the Mox. I don't think I've ever had to kill one of them because there's other gangs that I've gone around and killed members of. The Mox I've never had an issue with.
Well, no, because as long as you leave their people alone, they leave you alone.
Yeah, I actually respect the Mox of all the gangs. So, like I said, they're not completely altruistic. They have their own agendas and stuff like that, but they do make an effort.
They still make money from prostitution.
Yeah, the Valentinos would be the next one, probably the next one down that I respect because Jackie was part of the Valentinos.
He's the one that helps you at the beginning, isn't he, Jack?
Kayla says hotel reserved and paid for in full. Oops, guess you're gonna have to buy me dinner instead. I'm gonna buy you something in a minute. It's gonna be a smack on the ass. Tiger Claws or Yakuza or Triad. Tiger Claws are the ones I find I fight the most and get into my way the most. They're
You know what?
annoying, but I
I
don't hate
just
them.
love how your girlfriend winds you up during our streams now. It's great.
She winds me up, period, all day long. In various ways, she'll just be like, "Oh, look at me being bratty. Oh, I'm just so sweet and innocent. Don't you just love me, Mister?" No, nah. Anyway, Voodoo Boys get popped too. I haven't had any problems with the Voodoo Boys since I kind of, never mind. I won't spoil that. But I've had less issues with the Voodoo Boys as of late. Just saying.
What about the mercs who are all cybernetics and they're crazy?
Oh,
You know which
Maelstrom.
gang I'm talking about.
Maelstrom's just fucking insane. Like, I've not had many dealings with 6th Street. I need to probably look into their stuff more. Maelstrom is fucking insane. But I also have a little bit of sympathy for Maelstrom because most of them are ex-military.
Well, the military personnel who went through awful shit and then lost their minds.
Well, not even just that, but when you take, in order to make excellent soldiers, they take a lot of the humanity out of a soldier and plug in a bunch of tech. And then when they're done with them, they just toss them to the curb. When they're no longer useful, these corporations, these military organizations just toss them out. No benefits, no nothing. So these guys who are still able... Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
These guys who are still able-bodied, these men and women who are still somewhat able-bodied, and are having, things like PTSD and stuff like that, and they've got all of this cybernetic tech which makes them good at killing, but little else. They find it difficult to find work. And so Maelstrom actually gives them an opportunity to do something. They're a perfect opportunity for this gang to come in and say, hey, we'll take you in, we'll give you something. And these guys, play off of each other's issues that a lot of soldiers in real life have. And
the thing is, in real life, you don't take the humanity out of soldiers because you want your soldiers to have humanity. They don't just go and mow down women and children that are completely innocent. Like
I said, I have empathy for Maelstrom. There are some of the members, like there's one particular leader of theirs who I made sure to put a bullet in his head.
Big guy, wasn't it?
What the
Pretty
heck?
sure I watched you do that.
Hiya, Gulf City, it's me.
That was the big guy in the mech.
What? We just totally lost everything. We have 0... We're dropping frames. We have 0 streaming. What the fuck, YouTube? What the fuck?
Are we still...
No, we got it back,
live?
but... We're still live, but... Hang on. Okay, are we still here? Because some people are saying they see it. I'm seeing, like, a massive frame rate loss on my end. And then, like, my internet's just going fucking wonky. And people are saying, no, you're fine. I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. I'm doing this thing. When I come back from this trip this weekend, I'm going to fucking save all my scenes and stuff. And I'm going to uninstall OBS and do a fresh install because I'm sick and tired of this bullshit. This is fucking me up. I'm going to uninstall that and reinstall it. I'm going to fucking call my internet. I'm going to have a fucking breakdown this weekend on my fucking computer after this next week. I'm going to do some shit to my computer.
So Snow Pilot is going down the gangs and telling us what their alignments are.
Mox is lawful evil. I can see that.
Well, lawful evil means you're an asshole, but you follow a strict code, whether that is the law of the land or your own internal code.
But you're fine now, okay? Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on, and I don't know why this is fucking up for me, but it's not YouTube's, Jack. I was having the same problems last night with Twitch. I was having the exact same problem last night, and it's pissing me off. Scabs are chaotic evil. Fuck scabs. Like, I have a kill on sight with them. I will go out of my way to murder scabs. If I'm walking down the street and I see gang members, I scan them, and it's scabs, I will go out of them. I'll go out of my way to murder them.
Chaotic evil is just an excuse to be an asshole.
Mm-hmm. They're monsters, and they all deserve death. Most of the gangs of
chaotic
Cyberpunk,
good is
I'm
just
not.
low, so quirky.
Yeah, most of the gangs of Cyberpunk, I don't really, have anything against them. But technically speaking, the police count as a gang in Cyberpunk.
I'm not really surprised.
Yeah, because there was a point when I came up on a guy being harassed by a bunch of cops, and I had to take them all out, And turned out he was some corpo something or other, pissed off someone, so somebody said, I don't know. I got paid out of the whole deal.
The cops are the corporation's gang.
Mm-hmm. Well,
in that game.
Not quite. The cops have their own agenda and their stuff. The cops have their own situation going on, and there are good cops. There's a handful of them, but there are good cops that actually do the right thing. There are cops who are not corrupt. But the corporations have their own armies. Like, literally their own military forces.
Those are the ones that sent you after the cybernetic military guys.
With Maelstrom, yep. Militech did. But Arasaka has their own military force. Militech does. I can't think of any of the other names right now, but there's like all the different corporations have their own armies and their own private securities and stuff like that. Rat says, I like the Aldecados, but the clinging to tradition kind of bothered me. No, I love the Aldecados. They're fantastic people. They're just desert nomads. They just mind their own business. They're not, I can't even really count them as a gang per se.
They're just a civilization that lives outside the city on their own, and
they're just desert nomads. They just, and that's who Pan Am's a part of, the nomads. If anybody's getting the stream and others are not, then it is in client side. That's all I know. That's the thing, is why would I have the exact same issue with Twitch last night and here? It can't be.
It must be OBS.
It's not OBS, because OBS is rendering just fine. It's the stream going out. I think it's got to do with my internet, but I'm not sure. I also noticed that people who were watching on like mobile devices had a bigger delay, and I think that was buffering a lot of the issues for them last night. I don't know. But anyway, we are at hour and 15 minutes. So now is when we'll have our call-in segment. I'm going to copy the link to the Discord.
Yes, you can come and speak to us.
If you have anything you'd like to add, any commentary you'd like to put out there, I'm going to post that there. You really need to refresh this page, because it's not working out. Apparently that didn't go through there. So... Oh, no, there it went. So, copy to the Discord if you're not already for whatever reason. We have a green room that you can pop into in the voice chat, and we'll drag you in to join us here in a minute. If you have any comments or things that you'd like to bring up, anything to do with the story today, anything you'd like to tell us, do you just like to say, Eve, you're gorgeous, and I want to marry you someday, and I'll just be like, I'm sorry, kids. Ask Tally, because, hey, there she is. Look who was first in line. Hey, beautiful.
Hello.
Have you been a brat? Have you
Of
been a
course
bad girl,
not.
Kayla?
We're not even going to talk about it. For those of you who don't know, this is my girlfriend, Kayla. So I didn't make a big deal about it, but, when we started dating, because I was trying to see who would actually pay attention and notice. But hi there, Michael Hatfield. How you doing?
And I have a phone call coming in. Bye-bye.
Oh.
Oh, I've got news. I'm an aunt again. My sister had her daughter yesterday.
Oh yeah, you did tell me that before stream. Congratulations to her.
Yeah, I like such a beautiful baby. See, in
Mhm.
my mind, like I looked at the weight of this baby and I was like, in my mind, that's quite a big baby. But in saying
Mhm.
that, my baby was tiny when I had him. Because hers is 7 pounds 3 ounces. Mine was 1 ounce under being 6 pounds. So he was, how many ounces are in a pound? 12?
16.
14? 16? I'll say, so Elijah was 5 pounds 15 ounces. He was a tiny little thing.
Oh, that is a really tiny baby. Jeez.
But you've got to
Um,
remember, I'm only 5 foot tall.
yeah, no, that's true. You're not a big person yourself, so naturally, any baby you have would
Also,
not
I
be
was a
all
tiny
that big,
baby.
but still.
I was only, I asked my mum, I was 6 pounds 1 ounce.
Sorry about the grinding sound. That's another thing I need to look at too with my computer. My fan seems to be going down. I don't know if that's going to have any. I don't think that would have any effect on my internet issues, but has anybody joined in the Discord yet? Not yet. And Kayla was the only one because nobody loves us and wants to talk to us.
I've decided I want to get a rice cooker because I know how to make sushi and it's a lot of fun, but I always fuck up making the rice if I boil it in a pan on the stove. So I'm just going to get myself a rice cooker.
97 says Hikaru was 8 pounds 9.25 ounces when he was born and 12 pounds 5 days later. Jesus. You's a big baby, Hikaru. That man came
Yeah.
out like just said, I'm here, feed me. You know?
That was a big baby. Rat was a big baby. Damn. 9 pounds 15 ounces.
Damn. I don't remember how big I was when I was born. My mom could tell you, but
That's a big baby. Oh, Jack's in the green room. We can drag him in. Hi, Jack.
Hello. It looked
What's up?
to me as though you were lonely, so I figured I would jump in.
I mean, I'm never lonely with you around, Jack.
So how's it going?
It's going all right. I was sick. You were
Life's
not
good,
16 pounds, Rick. That's not possible.
Congratulations to Tally and family.
Oh, she's such a beautiful baby. Oh. Eve, after the stream, I'll show you pictures. She's so beautiful.
And I really think it has to be on YouTube's end and Twitch's end if they're fucking with you. Honestly,
I thought it was, but I tried changing like servers and stuff last night with Twitch, and it didn't seem to fix anything. People kept saying that they were fine, but it seemed to be the people who were watching on mobile who had a much bigger buffer that weren't having any issues, and people who were watching that were getting lag and skips and stuff.
It wouldn't make sense if it was on your end because it's all about if anyone is receiving it on the other end at all, then that means it's a distribution error. And
I don't know
what happens is you send the information to YouTube or to Twitch in the other case, and they send it out to everyone else. It doesn't go from you directly to your audience. And so if anyone is getting it, that means that YouTube necessarily is receiving the data. And they're just not distributing it properly to everyone.
But I'm seeing it kick back on my end saying that it's losing frames. Like on the OBS side where it has the output, it says stream status live, drop frames, network, total data output. Yeah. I'm seeing like I'm missing almost 8,000. I'm about to hit 8,000 frames dropped. I just hit 8,000 frames that I've dropped in the last hour and 20 minutes. That's a ridiculous amount for me.
I am noticing there is a little bit of choppiness on the Discord, more so than on YouTube. So who knows?
Yeah, and I'm not sure exactly what it is that's causing it. I don't know if I've got something running in the background. It shouldn't be. Or what?
Open it up, and there's like 30 different like
You
Bitcoin
might
miners going on in the background.
you might be getting updates. You might be having updates done, running in the background.
Maybe. Ask my mom. That is the
Yeah.
truth. I mean, I'll have to take your word for it because I can't ask your mom. But Grillin' Pirate Pete says rice cookers are a lifesaver. If I boiled it, I would either end up with a bit of crunchy rice or mush. I mean, I need to probably get a rice cooker because
See, I
hate
could
trying to
like
count
if I'm boiling rice to like so that I can use it to make fried rice, I can make boiled rice. It's just a pain in the ass to make sushi rice.
Mm-hmm.
Have either of you ever seen Uncle Roger's videos?
No.
No.
There's a YouTuber who goes by the name Uncle Roger, and basically what he does is he does a very stereotypical Asian kind of shtick, and he does a
Okay.
hilarious accent, and he plays it up for comedy a lot. It's very, very funny. But one of the things he talks about very frequently is getting a rice cooker instead of trying, because he reviews how other people make rice, and if anyone uses like a pot or anything, he criticizes them. Just get a rice cooker.
Well, rice cookers
but-
are like this big, and they are
Yeah.
very easy. You just put the stuff in that you need. You just press the button. Also, you can use a rice cooker to make a Japanese cheesecake. They are incredible.
My only problem with it is that it's what Alton Brown would call a unitasker. It does one thing very well.
No, it doesn't.
But
Because like I said, you can use it to make a Japanese cheesecake, which is incredible. They are delicious. You can use it to make
fairness-
more than just rice.
But I mean, how often do people make a Japanese cheesecake?
There are a lot of things you can put into a rice cooker. Like, have you ever tried to make a pancake in a rice cooker?
No.
See, I've got a bread maker, and it's like apparently you just use it to make bread. No, you can use it to like make the dough to make all kinds of things. It's basically a dough maker that just happens to make bread.
Speaking
Mhm.
of grain-related things, I just tried chickpea pasta. I've been seeing it in the store a lot lately, and it's okay. It's not as good as regular pasta, but I
I like
do.
wholemeal pasta.
You like what?
Wholemeal pasta,
Wholemeal. I'm not
Whole-
familiar with
like
that.
whole grain pasta.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
It's
I
like
kinda
like regular
that.
pasta, but it's brown. It's whole grain.
See, well, the thing is that I've often found going through like nutritional contents of shit is that someone will say it'll be like brown on the package, and then you look at the nutrition, it is virtually the same as white pasta. There's no
yeah.
difference.
I don't prefer brown pasta because of the nutrition value. I prefer brown pasta because of the flavor.
Well, do what you like then.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes it tastes better, and if you accidentally cook it for a little bit too long, it doesn't go wet and soggy.
Mm.
It's harder to fuck it up.
Oh, have you ever? There is an instance where soggy pasta is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever tried baked ziti?
Yes.
I love baked ziti. It does.
Well,
things
maybe you
to
don't
me.
have. Oh, okay, calm down. I was gonna say maybe your taste in food isn't completely terrible. Then
Yeah.
No, we've come to the conclusion that Jack is like the most unintentional hipster ever.
I'm
Mm.
not a hipster. I don't.
You are.
understand
You
where-
hate things that everyone else likes simply because you just dislike them. But
No.
it just coincides that you just become an unintentional hipster. It's just like, I hate this thing. Why does everyone like
it's
it?
not a hipster thing. It's what do you call it when you have the thing against authority? When you like go out of your
Oh,
way.
you
to
rebel
butt
because everyone
authority.
likes it. Then you're definitely a hipster.
Well, yeah, but they don't.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I suppose. But I'm not
We still
like
love
a
you.
hipster though. That's the thing. I may butt against authority, but hipsters don't really butt against authority. They just create their own new authority and then worship that. Like
He's not
avocado
wrong.
toast
I
or
hate avocado toast. Like avocado to me just tastes like grass that has been blended and then compressed into a bowl.
yeah.
It tastes gross. Now,
Even hipsters by their own standards aren't really hipster though. That's the thing.
have you ever noticed that these people that try so hard to be unique and quirky and different, they all end up looking exactly the same?
There's been studies on that, I believe. And
Actually,
I'm
a
pretty
guy
sure-
a guy tried to sue a company for using his photo as a stock image, but it turns out it wasn't his photo. It was actually a hipster model that they hired.
Yeah. I do remember hearing that. That was funny.
Really, Snow? Really? Put me out there like that. Caleb's like, I too have a preferred noodle. And then waits a beat and it says linguine. I said, sure. And then Snow follows up with Caleb's preferred noodle
Oh.
isn't vegan.
Oh.
For those of you who are missing
you
the
guys
innuendo
had to
there,
go there, didn't you?
apparently they did. Oh my god. No, I love my friends. I love our audience. It's so fantastic. But goddamn, y'all some thirsty motherfuckers sometimes. Don't worry, I'm gonna take
If
care of
vegans
Kayla's
don't
thirsty
I
this
can
like
weekend.
only
meat.
apologize.
If vegans don't like meat, does that mean vegan women don't suck dick?
Have you seen the vegan vagina guy?
What?
Vegan vagina.
What?
Oh no. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I can already tell this is gonna be cancer. I can already tell this is gonna be cancer.
You know what? I'm gonna get other cancer to balance out this cancer when Eve sends it to me.
So I
Excuse me?
can't remember his channel. That's his name. John Sakars.
Man, I am covered in nail polish. Like, I fucked this shit right up. I'm gonna have to take it all off and redo it.
So he has this video. Fuck. He's apparently still posting videos. What the hell?
Oh no.
Some people could say the same about us.
I mean, yes.
No,
the
we've only
other
been going for a
day-
year. This guy's been on here for like 10 years. And,
well, I mean, the other day, Monkey figured out that Sandman is still posting videos. So you
Jesus.
know,
Who?
he's one of the original cringe MGTOW types.
Oh. That'll be why I don't know who he is then.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a re-upload.
How much am I
but
gonna hate this?
You're probably gonna hate it really badly. But this is the exact video that I'm looking for. I can't find because he's got like hundreds of
bear
videos on
in
his actual
mind,
channel.
I have a sister who is a cringy
So,
vegan.
what? I'm innocent. I'm suddenly afraid. Well, I was until Eve stole it. Oof. I stand corrected. Just asked my mom. She said I was 10 pounds birth. Sorry, my bad. No, 10 pounds makes more sense. It's still a big baby, but at the same time, it's much more realistic to push a 10-pound baby out your vagina than a 16-pound baby. Like, holy fuck.
See, a bit based on how small I am and
There you go, guys. There's some cringe
size
for
of
you.
my hips, a baby of that size, I would have to get a C-section.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this in y'all's DMs. You're welcome for the cancer.
16-pound baby don't get birthed. 16-pound baby get exploded.
And there you go. That's,
There was
that's,
actually a woman who
take a look
had
at that
like
later.
a six. There was actually a woman who had a 16-pound baby or something like that, I think. But she was a fat bitch. She was huge.
Well,
But she wasn't just really, really fat. She was like 600 pounds, but she was also like 6 feet tall.
But I mean, there a bone structure comes into play at a certain point. That's the thing. So being fat doesn't necessarily do anything.
Well, I'm aware of this, but you want to check out the site. Like she was a big woman, but she had a baby. Like
Excuse me.
this baby broke the world record for the world's largest baby ever born.
Oh. So
And I'm
do you
Yeah,
pretty
think
sorry
sure
about the
it was.
fan noise,
I'm pretty
guys.
sure it was heavier than 16 pounds.
so if you're like a baby inside a really fat woman, does that mean you're like naturally going to be bigger because the woman, eats so much, and so that
Okay,
corresponds to baby
when
size?
I had my baby, I was pregnant at the same time as two other women that was within my friend group, and we all had our babies 3 weeks apart. The woman who had the girl, she had her baby first, and her baby, she's taller than me, but she was quite a slender woman, and she had a baby that was about just over 7 pounds. Then 3 weeks later, I had Elijah, and he was 5 pounds 15 ounces, and he was the smallest out of them. And then the third woman had her baby 3 weeks later, and her baby was bigger than mine and the first woman's babies combined.
Really?
But he wasn't. He was long. He wasn't just like
Oh,
he
he
was a
was a long
long
boy.
baby. He was a long baby. He was really like tall at birth. So and he was quite a heavy baby, and she was sort of in between my height and the height of the other woman. She was like dead in between us when it came to height, and
Hmm.
she was a bigger girl, but she had the biggest baby. So I think bigger women do tend to have bigger babies.
Hmm. What?
Kayla says no. A lot of obese women have preemies. Yeah, that's true too. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily the
But
case,
she
but it
wasn't
can be.
obese. She was overweight, but she wasn't at obese level.
Right. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's not necessarily the case because if you're, obese but you smoke a lot, your baby can come out tiny.
hmm
It's
What
just all
what I
about.
want to
I
know,
completely quit smoking when I was pregnant. I
why
didn't start
why is
smoking.
there still an argument going on with people about the unhealthiness of being overweight? I mean, here's the thing. I'm overweight. I'm not gonna make any.
I'm overweight.
I'm pretty fat, and I'm not gonna make any secret of the fact because it's a fact. But it is known to
But you're not
cause
going to
so
pretend
many.
that's but you're not going to pretend that you're healthy at any size and then say, I don't need to
Yeah,
change. Just like I am
it,
not saying I am healthy at any size and I am not going to change. Fuck no.
it is
I was thinking I was talking to Eve before the stream. I might start uh filming my progress when it comes to weight loss and all that sort of thing.
of all the self-evident things that a person can deny. I think that is perhaps the single most self-evident out of all of them.
Well, you don't see a
That
lot of
that
400-pound 90-year-olds.
Yeah, that an increase in body mass index correlates to health problems. It just does,
The
and
thing,
everybody knows it.
the thing to me is that you see a lot of these women who are like 400 or 500 pounds are also really young, and they're banking on the fact that other than being obese, they don't have many major health issues. They're still young. Though
But
that's
they
what's
haven't got those
carrying
health
them.
issues yet.
Yeah, they don't have those health issues yet. That's what's carrying them. And if they don't do something about their weight soon, then they're going to end up with issues. People like, Tess Holiday, for example, sitting there,
But
that's
these
not going to
people
last
don't
her
tend
forever.
to live to 60 years old. They don't tend to live to 50.
And it's not that you can't live a fulfilled life right in the moment. Sure, you're fine right now. Your only problem is that you're overweight and it causes you some issues. But trying to act like that won't cause you huge increased
I'm aware
chances
this
of.
is going to cause me issues later
Yeah, I know.
on. And I need to get another vape so I can quit smoking, because I couldn't find my vape when I was packing up to leave, because I was there going, when I pack to move, I will find it, and it never turned up. Couldn't find it. I have no idea where it went. It just vanished.
Yeah.
So I have to get another one of those. But I'm aware that if I don't stop smoking, it's going to cause me health issues. Just like I'm aware if I don't lose weight, it's going to cause me health issues.
And the stream
Given
is
it won't
centered
be
again.
as many health issues as back when, as some of these really large women, but it will.
I would like to point out, as of this moment, we've lost 10% of the frames. We've lost 10% of the stream. Like,
Is it manageable?
I mean, we're at the end anyway, but you know, we've lost 10% of our frame. It keeps a tally of how many frames that we've lost, and compares that to how many frames that have actually went out. And we've lost 10. It gives me a percentage. We've lost 10% of the stream to stream issues. That's way outside of norm for me.
Wow.
I'm gonna have a very long conversation with my computer after this weekend I've got coming up. I've got to go pack and throw my clothes in a bag and get out the door here soon. But yeah, Rich just said stream quality has dropped to 120p for me. Yeah, it shouldn't be happening. Anyway, as much fun as we're having this conversation, I am going to go ahead and wrap it up here because this thing is about to make me pull my hair out. So
Before you do, can we just say that being fat isn't the only thing that causes health issues. Like, I had bulimia when I was a teenager.
it
And that caused
exacerbates health
health
issues, you know.
Well, as a result of bulimia, I developed a kind of diabetes where I don't have enough sugar in my blood system, and as a result, I almost ended up in a coma
Excuse me.
because of
Yeah. I mean,
So,
it doesn't
being
typically...
being too skinny gives you health issues as well.
Yeah. I mean, being too much of anything gives you issues, which is why I typically sit in the middle on a lot of things, because everything in moderation, right, kids? So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with us today. If you like what we do on this channel, please share with your friends. I promise there will be less tech issues next week when we pick this up back again on Saturday. Or did y'all like the new Friday time slot? Who knows? You know, we'll see. But thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with us. Thank you to Jack for hopping in voice chat, and for Kayla, who briefly popped in here. And thank you most of all to my lovely co-host, Miss Talita Constantine. Give you a little poke across the ocean there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go have my dinner because
Okay.
20 minutes ago, my stepmother was shouting to say the dinner's ready.
All right. Well, we're gonna get out of here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Lay back, relax, enjoy it all. Saturday night, it's time to say no more. S&M with Tally and KRC. Come pleasure or pain, welcome to the stream.